Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada
Paramahamsa Parivajakaacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1, text number 28. Kachid varuthaadipatir-yadunam That is over. 27 over. Kachid varuthaadipatir-yadunam Pradyumna aste sukhamanga viraha Pradyumna aste sukhamanga viraha Yam Rukmiṇī bhagavato bhilebhe यं रुक्मिणी भगवतोऽभिलेवे आराध्य विप्रान् स्मरम् आदिसर्गे आराध्य विप्रान् स्मरमादिसर्गे कच्चिद्वरुथाधिपतिर्यदूनां प्रद्युम्न आस्ते सुखमङ्गवीरः यं रुक्मिणी भगवतोऽभिलेवे आराध्य विप्रान् स्मरमादिसर्गे कच्चिद्वरुथाधिपतिर्यदूनां प्रद्युम्न आस्ते सुखमङ्गवीरः आराध्य विप्रान् स्मरमादिसर्गे यं रुक्मिणी भगवतोऽभिलेवे आराध्य विप्रान् स्मरमादिसर्गे यं रुक्मिणी भगवतोऽभिलेभे आराध्य विप्रां समादिसर्गे Kachit, whether Varutha of the military, Adipatihi, commander-in-chief, Yadunam of the Yadus, Pradyumna, the son of Krishna named Pradyumna, Aste is Sukham, happy, Anga, O Uddhava, Viraha, the great warrior, Yam, whom, Rukmiṇī, the wife of Krishna, named Rukmiṇī, Bhagavataha, from the personality of Godhead, Abhilebe, got as a prize, Aradhya, pleasing, Vipran, brāhmaṇas, Smaram, Cupid, Kamadeva, Adi Sarge, in his previous life. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. O Uddhava, please tell me, how is Pradyumna, the commander-in-chief of the Yadus, who was Cupid in a former life? Rukmiṇī bore him as her son from Lord Kṛṣṇa by the grace of brāhmaṇas, whom she pleased. Kindly repeat. O Uddhava, please tell me, how is Pradyumna, the commander-in-chief of the Yadus, who was Cupid in a former life? Rukmiṇī bore him as her son from Lord Kṛṣṇa by the grace of brāhmaṇas, whom she pleased. Purport. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, Smara, Cupid or Kamadeva, is one of the eternal associates of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Jiva Goswami has explained this very elaborately in his treatise, Krishna Sandarbha, thus in the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Kadadara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Vidura and Uddhava have met each other, and Vidura is inquiring from Uddhava about the well-being of Lord Kṛṣṇa and the Pandavas. So initially he has inquired about Lord Kṛṣṇa and Balaram, beginning with the Supreme Lord. Because if the Supreme Lord is happy, everyone is happy. Then he has inquired about all the Pandavas, Kauravas, Kunti Devi, and now he is inquiring about Krishna's son Pradyumna. Varuta Adipati, who is the military commander-in-chief of Yadu dynasty. Varuta Adipati Yadunam. Pradyumna Aste Sukhamanga Veeraha. So his name Pradyumna, a great warrior. Whether he is happy, Sukhamanga Veeraha, whether he is happy. He was born as a blessing from a grace, by the grace of brāhmaṇas, whom she pleased. And Aradhya Vipran Smaramadi Sarge. In his previous life, he was Cupid. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that Jiva Goswami, in Krishna Sandarbha, he has mentioned that Cupid is one of the eternal associates of Lord Kṛṣṇa. So let us try to understand how Cupid is the eternal associate of Lord Kṛṣṇa. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada, another 10 pages purport, Prabhupada explains about the position of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha, who are the first expansion of Lord Balaram, who is the first expansion of Lord Kṛṣṇa. So Mayavadis, And even Shankaracharya has commented that these four quadruples, they are actually material, not transcendental personalities. Even though Shankaracharya says Narayana is transcendental, but then he doesn't accept Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. The 10-page explanation, Srila Prabhupada details on why these four Chaturvyuha, quadruple expansions of Lord Krishna, are transcendental form. So in that, Srila Prabhupada mentions Vasudeva is actually Paramatma. So the Lord of the heart is Vasudeva. Sankarshana is the Lord of all the living entities. Aggregate of all the living entities, the predominating deity is Sankarshana. It is Sankarshana who gives the power of holding the entire universe to Anantadev. Sankarshana's power is to hold all the universes together. That power given given to Anantadev, who is actually holding all the universes on his hoods. And Sankarshana is the one because of whom, because of his power, there is this gravitational force. Akarsha, everything is kept in one hold. That power is actually Sankarshana. From Vasudeva, Sankarshana is expanded. So Krishna, Balaram, from Balaram, Vasudev, from Vasudev, Sankarshana. From the Lord of the heart, the Lord of all the living entities. And from Sankarshana, the next expansion is Pradyumna. So Pradyumna is the Lord of aggregate mind. So there is a stock of mind. From that stock of mind, we get some mind in our body. Just like there is a stock of gold. From that stock of gold, we get some gold and small ring, gold ring. So similarly, that predominating deity of mind, senses and even intelligence, it is explained that Pradyumna is the predominating deity. Therefore, those who want their intelligence to be very sharp, they actually worship Pradyumna. Lord Shiva, in one of the prayers, he prays to Pradyumna to purify his mind and intelligence, because he is the predominating deity. And because he is the predominating deity, if he purifies our intelligence, we can render devotion service to the Lord. And because he is the predominating deity of mind, he is the predominating deity, controller of moon planet also. Because moon is the controller of mind. The demigod control of the mind is done by moon. So something happens in moon, the mind also gets disturbed. So even that moon, the controlling, the power is Pradyumna. So Pradyumna is the expansion of Sankarshana. From Pradyumna, Aniruddha expansion. Aniruddha is the stock. He is the predominating deity of Ahankara, ego. So the creation of this material world, cause is Vasudeva, because from Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha have come. That is one version of understanding of creation. So another version is Purushavatara. Through 3 Purushavasaras it happened. But one more angle one version of understanding is that Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Because they are the predominating deity of living entities, they are the predominating deity of mind, intelligence and senses, and they are the predominating deity of Ahankara. Without this, material existence cannot be possible. So, Srila Prabhupada explains that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is transcendental, Divyam. Balarama is an expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, Swayam Rupa. No difference between. So, Balaram is also as good as Lord Krishna. There is no difference. Advayam. Balarama further expands into these four Chaturvyuha in a sequential manner. So, because Balarama is transcendental, he is not ordinary living entity. The four Chaturvyuhas are also not ordinary. They are also the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are also Vishnu Tattvas. So, even though the Lord has so many parts and parcels of different grades, one grade is Vishnu Tattva, another grade is Jiva Tattva. They are all various parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. But there are some category of these expansions who are called Vishnu Tattva. They are non-different from the Supreme Lord in terms of six opulences, in terms of the prowess and power and all the different features of the Lord. But whereas another category of expansions are the Jivas, living entities. Living entities are not same as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. They are minute part of the Supreme Lord. So, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, the Supreme Lord is infinite. And all his Vishnu Tattvas are also infinite. From one infinite, so many infinites are emanated. But the Jivas are not infinite. Jivas are all infinitesimal. Small parts. The Supreme Lord is Vibhu, the living entity is Anu. Supreme Lord is Ashraya Tattva. Supreme Lord and all his different expansions, Vishnu Tattvas are all. Ashrita Tattva. The living entities are all Ashrita, one who takes shelter. So like that, there is a categorical difference between the living entities and the Supreme Lord. And in order to understand who is Vishnu Tattva and who is Jiva Tattva, and who is Lord Shiva also. Lord Shiva doesn't fall into Jiva Tattva category, neither he falls a Vishnu Tattva category. So this understanding is not possible by ordinary intelligence. Through our own endeavor and mental speculation, the Mayavadis, they try to understand the position of the Supreme Lord and the living entities. This entire Dvaita, Advaita, the core philosophy is the relation between the Supreme Lord and the living entity. Who is Lord? Who is living entity? What is the relation? That is the core tattva. So all these tattvas, so much of elaborate discussion is happening. So many philosophies are there. That cannot be understood by mental speculation. We cannot read the scriptures and understand who is Lord, what is his relation with the jivas. That is not possible. It can be understood only by a pure devotee, only by bhakti, bhaktyamam avijanat. Otherwise it is not possible. Even though it is there in the revealed scripture, to capture the essence of the revealed scripture, it is not possible by our mental speculation. Therefore, tasmad gurum prapadhyeta jignasu shreya uttamam. We have to approach a spiritual master. Otherwise it is not possible. Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says, one has to read, understand Bhagavad Gita under the guidance of a pure devotee, spiritual master. Otherwise it is not possible. So, the understanding, the Mayavadi's understanding is based on their mental speculation, based on the power of a manushya, human intelligence. But whereas the transcendentalists, those who are devotees, their understanding, they follow deductive process, avaroha pantha, gaining knowledge from an authority. So all the authorities, spiritual authorities, they have clearly described that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental and his Vishnu Tattva expansions are also transcendental. So like that, Vasudeva, Aniruddha, Pradyumna and Sankarshana, they are all transcendental Chaturvyuha. Now, this Pradyumna that is explained in that is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, in the Krishna Leela, is not the same Pradyumna, Vishnu Tattva of the Chaturvyuha. This Pradyumna is actually a demigod, a living entity of a demigod position. That pastime is there. Yeah, so sorry, before we go there. So that Pradyumna, this Pradyumna, the son of Lord Kṛṣṇa, is actually the Kamadeva, taken birth as Lord Kṛṣṇa's son. He is a demigod. But as Pradyumna, the Kamadeva, in order to gain the power of attraction and the power of regeneration, recreation. Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. The power of recreation is actually invested in this demigod, Kamadeva. Therefore, he is also the eternal associate. Directly as a demigod, it is not eternal associate. But because one of the demigod needs a special power in order to seduce the living entities and create and the recreating power has to be invested. That power is given by Pradyumna. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada explains, Kamadeva is actually an eternal associate of the Supreme Lord. Hence, in the pastime, where Lord Shiva, he burns Kamadeva to ashes. That pastime is there, that Lord Shiva has to be woken up from his meditation. And various means are tried. He is deep in meditation. And various means are tried and he is absorbed. So, they use the support of Kamadeva. Even Parvati Devi, Srila Prabhupada explains that Dhira, that Lord Shiva is the best example of Dhira. Parvati Devi even agitates the genitals of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is not at all deterred. That is Dhira. Then Kamadeva puts all his power to distract Lord Shiva. Finally, when Kamadeva becomes successful in distracting Lord Shiva becomes so angry because he is disturbed from meditation. And with his anger, he looks at Kamadeva and he burns him into ashes. Just imagine what is the deep meditation. So much of whole universal power is there to distract him, and he is not at all distracted. And we are so easily we get distracted. universal power is needed for us for attention. But Lord Shiva, so much. So Cupid, he burns into ashes. So Prabhupada explains, the moment Cupid is burnt into ashes, because he is invested with the power of power by Pradyumna, that Shakti is there, he actually merges into Lord Vasudeva. Through Vasudeva, when Lord Kṛṣṇa incarnates into the body of Lord Kṛṣṇa, Pradyumna, Kamadeva also enters. And through the body of Lord Kṛṣṇa, Pradyumna, Kamadeva enters into the womb of Rukmiṇī Devi. So that's why the Goswami have explained, he is also the eternal associate. Through Krishna he has appeared. But why he entered into Krishna's body? Because it is through the Vasudeva, whose power he was invested. So, Pradyumna, among all the different sons of Lord Kṛṣṇa, Pradyumna was considered to be as in feature, look and strength, as good as Lord Kṛṣṇa. If anyone sees him, they will think they have met Krishna. That is the bluish feature, the face and all of that. So, when Pradyumna was born, a very nice story explained in by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavatam, in the Krishna book. So, Pradyumna was born, there was a demon by name Shambhara. Before his birth, before Pradyumna's birth, he got his destiny that Pradyumna will kill him. Son of Lord Kṛṣṇa, Pradyumna will kill him. He came to know somehow. So what he did, he awaited for the birth of Pradyumna and he went into the private palace of where Rukmiṇī Devi is given birth to Pradyumna, just 10 days over, and in the 10th day, within the 10 days, he kidnaps Pradyumna. Where is a baby Pradyumna kidnapped? And he throws Pradyumna into the sea, thinking that that boy will drown. But destiny is there, he has to die one day, he cannot avoid all of that. So Pradyumna was eaten away by one big fish. A fisherman catches this fish. It's a very nice mystical story it is. And this fisherman, he catches this fish and he sells it to Shambhara. Shambhara is a king of one area, and he sells it to Shambhara. Shambhara hands it over to his cook, who is having a maid in the kitchen, whose name is Mayavati. This Mayavati, in her previous life, she is the wife of Kamadeva by name Rati. So now, once husband is burnt into ashes, she also born as a human being, awaiting for another birth of Kamadeva, getting another physical body. So Kamadeva gets a physical body through Lord Kṛṣṇa, and Rati is waiting here in the form of Mayavati. So Shambhara, he hands over the fish to his cook, and while the cook is cutting, the moment he cuts, he sees there is a beautiful baby, bluish body, hue baby, very beautiful. And seeing the beautiful baby, maid servant is there next to him, he hands over that baby to her and says, please see, this baby is born. So immediately she catches hold of that baby and surprised how such a wonderful baby is born, is there in this fish. So while she is perplexed like that, Narada Muni appears and he says, he reveals the entire history, that actually he is none other than Kamadeva, who is born as the son of Lord Kṛṣṇa, Pradyumna, and he is your past life husband. So Mayavati remembers her past life and immediately connects to him. And she decides, I will only raise this child in a motherly affection. So she raises the child. Very surprisingly, the moment she gives first bath to the baby, he starts growing, and immediately he becomes a young man. Very quickly. Not immediately, in very few moment he becomes a young man, very handsome young man. Seeing the beauty of that young man, she proposes to him. So immediately Pradyumna is little shocked. Till now you have worshipped, you have taken care of me like a mother, and now you are saying that you want to be my wife. How can I accept? This is not. Actually, wife and mother, the relation is totally opposite, totally different. So Pradyumna asked this question. So that time, Mayavati, she explains to Pradyumna whatever Narada Muni has said, that in my previous life, you are actually my husband. So there is nothing wrong in me desiring to be your wife in this life, even though I raised you as my mother. And then Pradyumna also accepts. And then she reveals that Shambhara is wanting to kill you, and before he kills, you should actually attack him and kill him. And she knows special mystic powers she has got. It is called Mahamaya mystic power. Prabhupada explains, whatever Maya is there in this world, above that one Maya is Mahamaya. So that power she knew. She immediately transfers that power to him. And with that power, he goes and challenges Shambhara. With his sharp words, he wants to, it appears Shambhara considers it's like a kicking on his face. Like that sharp words Pradyumna challenges. So Shambhara also takes up the challenge. Both of them have a fierce fight for a long time. And then, seeing the power of Pradyumna, Shambhara increases his power, demoniac power. So he is being taught by Maya Dano. So he uses all that powers initially by Maya Dano. But still Pradyumna is more powerful. Then again, he uses other demoniac powers. He has been gifted with so many other demoniac powers. So he uses all that powers and again attacks. Seeing that Shambhara is becoming more powerful, Pradyumna, he also acquires some more powers called Mahavidya, very more powerful than all of this. And then, while Pradyumna is displaying this power, Shambhara becomes weaker than him. And finally, so Prabhupada explains that the powers that Pradyumna possessed was sattvic in nature. It's not like the black art, black magics. But whereas the powers that Shambhara was acquiring were all demoniac powers or tamasic powers. So in the Shastras also, Vedas, various mantras, tantras, various sections are there. Even in tantras also, even in the current world, they accept that tantras, there are three sattvika categories, rajasika categories and tamasika. Sattvic categories are the ones used to benefit others. So there are some tantras which can help in curing diseases. Some places in India they use, like Assam and all, there are some mystical way, by chanting some mantras, severe diseases, chronic diseases are cured. Rains can be brought. Recently in Delhi, they did cloud seeding. All big IIT students and all got together. Cloud seeding means artificial rains. Of course, rain never happened. They failed. So, but previously they knew the science of art of getting rains through mantras. So they are all sattvika powers. Then there is tamasika. Tamasika means in order to hurt others. We know the black art, black magic. They keep some doll in that image, they push pin and all, he gets a pain. Some places in India they practice that, especially West Bengal and Kerala side they practice. Of course not very specific to that region, but then they practice such things. So this is, then there is Rajasic also. For material benefit they do some black magic, black art. So Pradyumna, his acquiring of mystic powers were of sattvic in nature. But whereas the demons, their acquiring power is Rajasic and Tamasic. So sattvic is also always beneficial. In fact, even in there's a war between Lord Shiva and Lord Kṛṣṇa in Bhagavatam. Lord Shiva brings Vishnu Shiva Jwara. Lord Vishnu uses Vishnu Jwara. So Lord Shiva's Shiva Jwara is very heat. And in order to counteract that heat, Lord Kṛṣṇa creates Vishnu Jwara, very cooling. So like that there is a difference between powers are there. So Pradyumna uses his sattvic powers to defeat. Finally always Sattva-guna is more powerful than Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So he defeats and he chops off his head from his body and Shambhara is killed. Then Mayavati with her special mystical powers, again Yoga Siddhi, she carries Pradyumna to the palace of Dwarka. So while all the women in the Dwarka, they are sitting assembled in a place, Pradyumna and Mayavati enter into that arena. Seeing Pradyumna, all the women, wives of Lord Kṛṣṇa, some of them, they are all shocked. They are all thinking Krishna has come into them. But who is Krishna with another woman? Who is that girl? Whether this is Krishna, so they are doubtful. So the moment Rukmiṇī Devi she sees, even though he looks like Lord Kṛṣṇa, she is having motherly affection towards him. Natural motherly affection, emotions are there. She is not feeling like husband, wife love towards that personality. So she is thinking, if my son would have been there, by now he would have been so handsome. I lost my son. So while she is considering like that, Lord Kṛṣṇa also enters that same place. So Lord Kṛṣṇa, he sees, he understands, okay, but he is silent. And with this, Lord Kṛṣṇa brings Narada Muni to that place, and Narada Muni reveals to Rukmiṇī that he is none other than your old son who was lost, who was kidnapped by Shambhara. And that's how all of them meet. The lost son was met, and they get Mayavati married to Pradyumna. So this is the entire pastime. So Pradyumna's, Krishna's son Pradyumna, the special feature is, he is as good as Krishna in features, physical features. Of course, not only physical features, spiritually also, opulence and all spiritual potency. As good as Lord Kṛṣṇa. No difference. Thus, when all the women in Dwarka they saw, they thought it is Krishna only. So, Prabhupada explains the 4 Chaturvyuhas, they are also transcendental, they are all Vishnu Tattva, as opposed to Mayavada philosophy, who claim that they are not transcendental. And Pradyumna is actually, the son of Lord Kṛṣṇa, is actually Kamadeva, who is a jiva, but then he is invested with the power of Pradyumna, who has the special, who is actually the creator of the power of regeneration. If there is a two living entities, the different features. One is a male and one is a female. Actually, in terms of matter, in terms of technical material combination, both a male and a female body are same. It is all atoms and molecule, kapha, pitta, vayu. A lump of chemical here, a lump of chemical here. There is no attraction for any lump of chemicals. But it is the power of Kamadev who creates that attraction between a opposite gender, male and a female. That power of attraction is there. So that they show that arrow, Kamadeva's arrow, very powerful arrow. In the heart, that arrow is there. So that power, heart can be pierced by that arrow. That piercing power is actually Kamadeva's special power, which is originally coming from Lord Pradyumna, who is actually incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the Maya. Cupid is meant for a specific purpose for creation, because if there is no attraction between male and female, population will not come. Population has to come. We may think, why population has to come? Better they don't come. No, if population don't come, jivas are not born, the jivas will not get opportunity for reformation. That is the anxiety. Is an opportunity for reformation, along with their own personal sense enjoyment. They came here for enjoyment, that is one purpose. But a higher purpose of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the jivas, they come to this material world, they are brought into this material world for reformation. Just like government wants, or government creates jail and puts the prisoners there. One is that they want to segregate all these criminals to one side. That is only one purpose. More higher purpose is that they want to reform. They want to punish. They want to mend their ways, make them understand this style of life is not correct. And the moment he is reformed, again is released from jail into the normal life. So similarly, until unless the living entities are born into this world, the opportunity for reformation is not there. So that opportunity, entrance into this material world, that birth, that process or that means is created by Kamadeva. So he is also having a very serious devotional service. It is not, of course, it is not that everyone has to accept, but it is part of the process of the creation. Prajapatis are there. In the beginning of creation, Brahma is anxious to create more and more population, because that is a duty Krishna has given to him. Give more and more opportunity for reformation. Otherwise, there is no question of reformation. They are all in the womb of Lord Vishnu, and they will eternally remain like that. So that opportunity is created, and thus there is an attraction between a male and a female. But one who understands the secret, he doesn't get attracted, and he gets opportunity he takes the process, a quick process of liberation by following brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is like an elevator. Grihastha is, okay, slowly I will go, little bit here and slow. So like that. So, one thing Srila Prabhupada, while he is narrating the pastime of birth of Pradyumna and his returning back home, Prabhupada explains that if Krishna decides to protect someone, no one can kill. Rake Krishna, mare Krishna rake. So even though Shambhara, he came to know previously, before Pradyumna's birth, that Pradyumna will kill him. He knows the address where he will be born. All the details he knows. And he tried to save himself from death by some manipulation. But he could not save. So demoniac mentality is they always want to intrude in the natural process of the Supreme Lord and try to overpower the nature. So that's a master lording over the nature. Kamsa also. Already he knew 8th son of Devaki will kill him. He came to know. The moment he came to know, he is thinking, by killing the 8th son, where is the 8th son? I cannot be killed. But it is not possible. It is a destiny. Everyone has to die. Whether it is through the 8th son or whatever son, he has to be killed. Similarly, when Dronacharya heard that Drishtadyumna is born to kill him, his birth is there to kill him. Dronacharya is a brāhmaṇa. Ravana or Kamsa is a asura. Sambarasura also is asura, demoniac. Mentality of demoniac is they don't want to follow the normal process that God has created. Authorized process they don't want to follow. Always want to go over the authorized process. Bossing over, lording over the material nature. Already Lord has created a way. And just like Ravana also, there is a process of going to Swarga, higher planetary system. You have to do punya and go to higher planet. But what did Ravana do? He wanted to take people without qualification to Swarga. And he was creating a ladder, staircase. Some process he created. So, this is the demoniac mentality. They don't want to follow the rules, the codes of the Vedic wisdom. They want to create their own mental speculation powers. But whereas a devotee or a brāhmana, he understands the importance, the value of the Vedas, and thus he sticks on to the path. So, Dronacharya, he came to know that he will be killed by Drishtadyumna. But he never retaliated. He never tried to protect himself. In fact, Drishtadyumna came to him to learn military art. Even though he knows, if I teach him, he will kill me tomorrow. With the same learning, he will kill me. But he teaches all the military warfare without any bias. See? Without any bias. Because he knows we cannot change the destiny. Similarly, some people are very crazy behind this astrology. Astrologers are having very good business, especially now, Kali Yuga. Everyone is thinking, I will know my future and I will change it. But we should understand, it is a foolishness. Anyway, it is going to happen. You cannot avoid it. It is not possible to avoid. So, better than working like this is to practice devotion service. Because only through devotion service, we can break the knots of our karma. Vidyante, hridayagantis chidyante, sarva samshaya, kshiyante chasya karmani, drishta evatmanishvare. That can happen only by bhakti. Karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhaja. So a devotee wants to better his life. He will only increase his intensity of devotion service. He never works hard to avoid something, avoid misery. No, even if he wants to avoid misery, he will increase his chanting more, or he will increase his service more. He will increase his dependence on Lord more than trying to manipulate the process of natural modes of it. So, and if Krishna decided something has to happen, no one can do anything. Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan, he used to tell, it is explained in Lilamrita, that if Krishna wants to give, he has got 10 hands. You have got only 2 hands. How much can you take? And if Krishna wants to take away, he has got 10 hands. You have got only 2 hands. How much can you keep? How much can you resist? So, devotee, knowing the philosophy, he surrenders to the Supreme Lord. And that surrender is not out of fear or frustration, is out of love. One is to think, anyway you are taking, take, everything you only take. Enjoy. One is thinking that. One is, oh my Lord, it is out of my love I am offering to you. 2 things are different. One is out of duty, out of frustration. Still you are surrendered. It is not surrender. It is also surrender. But one is love. Surrender with love. Tesham satata yuktanam priti purvakam. So devotion service that is done with love, with bhava, with affection. Oh, it is for my Lord. And another is doing with fear. If I don't do, what they will tell. So both are different. If I don't do, authorities will question. That is one. And if I do, Krishna will like it. Krishna is pleased. That is one more. So our, even that is also not wrong. Fearfully doing is also okay. But gradually we should come to a position by nice chanting and purification, come to a point where we are doing service with love, with Krishna consciousness, Krishna in the center. Oh, I will offer this for the pleasure of the Lord. If we make decision, I will do book distribution for the pleasure of the Lord. I will do fundraising for the pleasure of the Lord. Immediately, the consciousness gets elevated. So, any questions? Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.